There's a couple of things I've noticed in terms of what Bernie has been doing in terms of his speeches. Just like as we get closer to Iowa and in the wake of Iowa, is he seems to be sort of like trying to be a little more presidential.
Definitely.
A little bit more low key.
Yep.
You know, he's only going to be so low key, but he's being a little bit more low key.
I had to go through this myself.
I get
And
it, Bertie.
he also seems to be showing a little bit more of his sense of humor.
Yeah, which is really important.
This moment, and I was surprised because I thought a lot of people would pick up on this. And when I went to MSNBC, I mentioned it. And, you know, when I get on MSNBC, somebody had tweeted out like, I like waiting up at night for when Chris Hayes is allowed to bring his friends over to his dad's house, and there could be a couple of like progressives on. Honestly, that's
actually really.
It was. I mean, it was like literally like, oh, it's
Mountain
past
Dew
10
Code
o'clock.
Red's in the fridge.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we just got to go straight down to the basement, all right, and then we can smoke some pot. And I said it to Hayes.
Then you can talk about
and
the app.
thing is
Then you
that
can make a critical comment about the app business.
in 2004, you know, I think Hayes was. I mean, he was writing at the time, but he didn't remember this. I remembered this quite a bit. And I noticed it. At first, I thought it was weird, and then I realized what he was doing in real time the other night. Here is Bernie Sanders, the way that he finished his speech in Iowa, and I mean, I sort of mentioned it last night. So if you were watching the coverage, you would get this. But here's Bernie Sanders finishing his speech in Iowa last night, and then I will show you. This is perhaps one of the driest, subtlest, well-done comedy bits that I've seen in a long time from a politician. Here we go.
It's a moment for the real heads, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
This is for all the real heads out there.
that's right. End of his speech.
Together with the strongest grassroots movement this country has ever seen, where we have knocked on hundreds of thousands of doors here in Iowa, we're doing it in New Hampshire. So let me conclude by thanking our great staff, our volunteers here in Iowa. And now it is on to New Hampshire, Nevada, South Carolina, California, and onward to victory. Thank you all very much.
He just
Now,
amused
let me
himself.
show you what the joke he's playing here. This is Howard Dean, who they had comparable campaigns insofar as, I mean, let's put aside ideology and politics. Howard Dean was the first person to raise money over the internet, essentially, and to do it in small donations, and to have, at least in the internet era, an army of volunteers. And here is what he came in third, I think it was, in the Iowa caucus.
I was going to say, thank God Bernie did
And-
better.
Right. and there was a lot of other factors, but this was the nail in his coffin. This is how petty our politics were at that time. Hold on, we're going to go back.
I think this would play well today.
It's a different era.
You know something? You know something? If you had told us 1 year ago that we were going to come in third in Iowa, we would have given anything for that. And you know something? You know something? Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
I mean, it's goofy, but like, it's just so stupid that would sink somebody. That's actually that's the most likable I've seen Howard Dean in over a decade.
Well,
he's a
I know.
misery on television now.
I understand. I mean,
No,
because
but-
you now have seen where he goes. But I mean,
that's
contemplate the
likable.
idea, folks, that was that was the nail in the coffin of his campaign. That and
When we hit, there's going to be a patron level on my show where I will recreate this.
I have no doubt you will monetize it, but
It's got to go on the soundboard.
But I got this feeling that Bernie, I don't think he planned that joke. I think as he started going like, we're going next to New Hampshire, and then he realized like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do the whole thing.
But you could tell by his facial expression he was
He
definitely
was
leaning
definitely
into it.
thinking about
He was
it.
amusing himself.
He definitely was thinking about it, and I thought that was pretty. I don't know. I gave that extra points. And that's why I say he won the Iowa caucus, regardless of what the
We're
numbers
still
are.
at 62%, I guess. They
Yep.
still have not released it. This is unbelievable.
I
Quality control.